just in, exposing the myth that paper is better than plastic. New evidence supports using plastic bags is better for the environment than using traditional paper. How is this so? Here's why. Hi, I'm a professional chemist, so you can trust what I'm saying is true. To understand why plastic is better than paper, we first must look at the molecular level and understand the monomer ethylene. Ethylene can be yielded from the petroleum fraction of crude oil. The overall process takes 4 steps. First, get the petroleum out of crude oil. Next, using a process called fractional distillation, we get out a molecule called decane, which is a 10-carbon hydrocarbon. However, since we want decane's monomer, which is ethylene, we have to do a process called thermal cracking, which is heating decane to an extremely high temperature, and it breaks it down into its simple parts. Or we can use a process called catalyst reaction, which cracks the polymer with less heat. Once decane is broken down, we have ethylene. The process is not done there though. Plastic bags are made from a molecule called high-density polyethylene, which is one of ethylene's polymers. To manufacture this, we must utilize chromium oxide ions to break ethylene's double bonds and force a chain growth reaction of the structure as chromium ions take up each monomer and build the polyethylene molecule. The end product results in a dense crystalline material which lacks branches, making it linear. Finally, we have high-density polyethylene. This unique molecule is superior because it is very resistant to almost all solvents, including dilute acids, bases, alkalis, alcohols, and even oils and greases. The entire process seems difficult, but is actually very cost-efficient, simple, and uses hardly any water. Nearly all of the work is done by machines powered by electricity, which gives off less greenhouse gases. Plastics are also incredibly easy to recycle, and each is labeled 1 through 6 based on which recycling process it requires. Every time a plastic is recycled, virtually all of the high-density polyethylene structure remains intact, and the quality of the material doesn't decrease after recycling. For those concerned with the amounts of crude oil that are needed to make plastics, take note that less than 1% of each barrel is actually used for making high-density polyethylene, so hardly any oil is wasted in the process. Another huge point which makes plastic very superior to paper is that it takes up such a small amount of space. 1,000 plastic bags, it weighs just 15 pounds, where 1,000 paper bags weighs 140 pounds. Wow. Also, plastic bags take up 10 times less space in landfills. That's very interesting. A recent study conducted in San Francisco found that plastic bags made up for less total litter than chewing gum and cigarettes. Finally, plastic is much more durable and can be used over and over again to save the environment. The choice is yours, but only one is right. Plastic is better. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Plastic is superior to paper, and if you want your children to have a good future, use plastic bags, and remember, polyethylene is awesome. Good night.